It's the end of January. The days are short, the air is biting, and your garden sits silent under a blanket of frost. Look out at your garden. Just mud, maybe a few sad kale stalks, and nothing else. The soil is cold and lifeless, and the beds that once promised abundance now look forgotten. All that summer effort, those cherry tomatoes you bragged about online, gone by September, the lush green jungle you once tended is now just a memory, replaced by withered stems and empty space. Now you're back at the supermarket, buying tasteless imports. You wander the aisles, picking up vegetables that traveled thousands of miles, stripped of flavor and freshness. The problem? The summer salad mentality. We grow for the thrill of a July salad, not for real sustenance. Most modern gardens are just hobbies, quick snacks, not real food. They're weekend projects, not lifelines. You plant in May, eat in July, and by the first frost, your garden's done. The cycle is short and the payoff is fleeting. 5 cold months and nothing to show for it. Your plot sits empty, offering no comfort or nourishment when you need it most. This is a fundamental mistake, treating your garden like an outdoor snack bar. It's fun in the moment, but it doesn't feed you when times get tough. A real garden is a food factory, a machine for turning sunlight and soil into calories that last. It's about building resilience, not just enjoying a handful of cherry tomatoes. Focusing on lettuce and cucumbers means you've missed the point. These crops are fleeting pleasures, not staples that sustain you through winter. You've built a fair-weather friend, not a year-round resource. When the seasons change, your garden abandons you. So, ask yourself, are you a gardener or just someone who plays with plants in the sun? Are you growing for beauty or for survival? If your plot is empty in January, you've been doing it all wrong. A true garden should provide even when the world outside is frozen and gray. The pantry is what matters when the world outside is cold and hungry. That's the real measure of a garden's worth, what you have stored away when nothing grows and the land is silent. Let's look at people who get it right. The Amish. In a world obsessed with picture-perfect gardens and social media likes, the Amish quietly focus on what truly matters, growing food to survive, not to impress. Their approach is rooted in necessity, not aesthetics. No freezers, no supermarkets. They have to grow food that lasts. Every meal they eat in winter depends on the work they put in during the growing season. Their pantries are their lifelines, filled with jars and sacks that represent months of effort. For them, gardening is survival, not a hobby. It's a way of life passed down through generations, where every member of the family has a role to play. Their gardens are designed to fill the larder for winter. Rows are planned for maximum yield and storage, not for curb appeal. Every seed is seen as jars on a shelf, sacks in a cellar, food that lasts until next spring. The harvest isn't just about abundance, but about endurance through the cold months. Their whole calendar is about preservation, not fresh eating. From the first planting to the last jar sealed, every step is about making food last. They choose crops for canning, drying, and storing, not for tonight's salad. Beans, potatoes, onions, these are staples that keep families fed when nothing grows outside. This is the mindset you need. Grow for storage, not just for the plate. Think about what will nourish you months from now, not just what looks good today. The goal is to process and preserve most of your harvest. It's about turning summer's bounty into winter's security, one jar at a time. Fresh eating is just a bonus. The real reward is knowing you have food set aside no matter what happens. The Amish have mastered this, identifying varieties that store, dry, and pickle well. Their knowledge is practical, built on experience and necessity. It takes planning and hard work, thinking backwards from winter. They ask, what will we need when the ground is frozen and the days are short? What will you want to eat in March? Grow for that. Imagine your future self grateful for the food you put away. This logic is lost in our world of instant gratification. We're used to getting what we want, when we want it, but that's not real security. The Amish haven't lost it. They're the masters of food security. Their way is a reminder. True abundance is measured not by what's on your plate tonight, but by what you have set aside for tomorrow. So, what should you grow? It's tempting to fill your garden with the familiar, courgettes, lettuce, maybe a few herbs. But if you want your garden to truly feed you, you need to think differently. The Amish don't just grow for the moment. They grow for the months ahead, planning for every season. Start with grain corn, dent or flint, not sweet corn. These varieties are grown for their hard kernels, perfect for storing and grinding into meal, not for eating fresh off the cob. Let it dry on the stalk. Shell it and store it for grinding into cornmeal all winter. This way, you have a staple food that lasts, ready for baking bread or making porridge long after the harvest is over. Next, hard, dense storage cabbages, built for sauerkraut or months in a cellar. These cabbages aren't just for coleslaw. They're a foundation for hearty winter meals and can be transformed into tangy, nutritious kraut. The Amish pick every green tomato before frost, then pickle, preserve, or slowly ripen them. Nothing is wasted. Even the unripe fruit becomes a resource, adding variety to winter meals. Forget delicate raspberries. Grow apples that keep or dry well. Choose varieties bred for storage so you can enjoy fruit deep into winter, not just in the fleeting days of autumn. Dried apple rings are a perfect, long-lasting snack. They're sweet, portable, and keep for months, ideal for lunch boxes or a quick bite on a cold day. Choose potato varieties like Yukon Gold or Kennebec for storage. These potatoes are bred to last with firm flesh and thick skins that resist rot. Cure them properly and they'll last until spring. A little effort now means you'll have hearty, filling food when fresh produce is scarce. Even watermelon rind isn't wasted. Pickle it for a sweet winter treat. It's about using every part of the harvest, turning what's often discarded into something delicious. It's about seeing potential in everything you grow. Every plant, every fruit, every root can be part of your winter pantry if you plan ahead. Every crop should have a plan for storage or preservation. Whether you're canning, drying, fermenting, or simply storing in a cool cellar, think about how you'll use each harvest. The goal: turn fleeting summer abundance into year-round food. Your shelves should be lined with the results of your planning and hard work, a visible reward for your efforts. Grow what lasts, not just what tastes good today. Focus on crops that will feed you for months, not just for a single meal. Think beyond the salad bowl. Leafy greens are great, but they won't sustain you through winter. Your garden should be a pantry in the making. Every row, every bed should contribute to your food security. That's how you make your land work for you. With careful planning, your garden becomes more than a summer project. It's a year-round source of nourishment. Don't waste space on crops that vanish by September. Instead, fill your garden with crops that will feed you long after the first frost, making every square foot count. Growing the right crops is only half the battle. You need to preserve them. Curing toughens up potatoes, onions, garlic, and squash for storage. Potatoes and sweet potatoes cure in a warm, dark place for 2 weeks. Onions and garlic dry until their skins are papery. Store everything in a cool, dark, slightly humid spot. Root cellar, garage, or basement. Pack root crops in damp sand, hang onions and garlic, and keep squash separated. Beyond cellaring, use canning, drying, and fermenting. Canning preserves tomatoes and beans for years. Drying works for apples, herbs, and veggies. Fermenting transforms cabbage into sauerkraut and cucumbers into pickles. These methods make your harvest last, and often taste even better. The key lesson here: waste nothing at all. Every part of the plant has value, root to leaf. Nothing is useless. Beet greens, turnip tops, radish leaves, all edible, all usually tossed aside. Use them for extra meals without needing to plant more. Even inedible bits have uses. Corn cobs for stock, cabbage leaves for lining sauerkraut crocks. Save potato water for soup or gravy, adding extra flavor. Change your perspective. See everything as a potential ingredient. This root-to-leaf approach maximizes your yield and truly minimizes waste. Your garden becomes a zero-waste food system for your home. When you garden this way, your plot becomes more than a hobby. It's your larder, grocery store, and insurance policy. That patch of land now means real food security. Imagine your pantry in February: jars of sauce, sacks of potatoes, braids of garlic. This is food you grew, preserved, and stored yourself. It's a deep sense of security you can't buy at a store. You become a producer, not just a consumer. You know the true value of your food. A winter soup from your own harvest is richer in every way. This is the power of Amish-style gardening. It's about reclaiming the skill of feeding yourself. Your garden becomes a partner in your survival. So, why is your garden empty now? Because you've been planting for summer, not for survival. It's time to change that. Ignore the pretty lettuces and cucumbers. Choose crops that store, dry, and keep. Plan your garden for the pantry, not just the plate. Calculate how much you'll need for winter and plan accordingly. Think about preservation from the start. Picture beans in jars, apples as dried rings, potatoes in sacks. Let a full larder in January guide your choices. Fresh tomatoes in August are a bonus, not the goal. The real win is opening your last jar of sauce in spring. Stop planting for fleeting summer pleasure. Start planting for the deep satisfaction of a winter supper. That's what a garden is truly for.